It's a good day. It's a good Christmas Eve. We are ranking some Star Wars today. If you disagree with this, then you're just wrong. So hopefully you agree. So yeah, I got my festivities on. I got my dog shirt. Feliz Navidad. It's pretty epic, if I do say so myself. And of course, I have my hot chocolate here. Disregard that it says mom. Oh, hot still. So let's go over the tiers real fast. S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier. Then there's also what is this and why. The only thing that I have problems with is I wish the shows were split up into seasons, because I think the seasons vary like quite a lot in how good they are. We'll go in order. You know what? Yeah, let's do order of release. So we have A New Hope. Now where do we think this goes? I think that this movie was good. The thing is, though, some of it doesn't hold up, and it's more classic than anything. I think if you take out the nostalgia, I don't think this one is as good. I'm going to go B tier. Let's say C is average. Like, C is just, you don't hate it, and you don't like it. Or you don't love it. Don't hate it, don't love it. It's just, like, right in the middle, just like, yeah, this is okay. And I think that B is a good place for that, because I mean, it's definitely not A. Definitely not A tier. Empire Strikes Back. I think that this one is probably the best movie. I think it's the best movie out of all 9. It takes what they have in the 4th one, makes it 1,000 times better. It introduces Yoda. It really kind of explains the Force a lot more. It has the best plot twist, probably one of the most iconic plot twists in movie history, with the whole "I am your father" thing. And so I think that movie is the best one. It's probably been the longest since I've seen Return of the Jedi, so this rating may be a little bit. Take this one with a grain of salt. See, a hard thing for me is that I grew up on Lego Star Wars. Like, I didn't watch the movies for a long time, actually. And I learned the story from Lego Star Wars, and I want to say the Episode 6 levels in Lego Star Wars, the complete saga, were the best. So that kind of makes me a little bit more partial to this one, to be honest. But I mean, it's got the Ewoks, they're adorable. Has the final fight and redemption of Darth Vader. As far as plot goes, I think this is awesome. Action, this one probably has some of the the best action out of the original trilogy. Hoo boy, Episode 1. Now we all know that Episode 1 isn't great. I think this is better than people think. I think it's kind of confusing just because it's in the trilogy, but it does take place 10 years before Episode 2. All the characters are younger, so they're more annoying. Granted, Jar Jar Binks, he's annoying. Yeah, that's right. But then you have guys like the Gungan general guy, who's he's like Donald Trump if he was an alien, and I think that's hilarious. And also, Darth Maul is sick. Like, he's probably the coolest villain in Star Wars. At least one of. Episode 2. Horrible dialogue. I will say it has terrible dialogue, which for me, the ironic part of my brain is like, oh, that's hilarious. I think I would still put it at C tier though, because the action is good. Jango Fett is cool, and the end scene with all the Jedi and when the clones come in, that's cool. But again, just that dialogue is terrible. So Episode 3, easy A. I'm gonna be real, easy A. Episode 3 is really good. So a lot of people think that, what's his name? Hayden Christensen. A lot of people think that he is the worst actor in the prequels. I hardcore disagree. I think it's the Chancellor. No. Just some of the clips of him when he's, turning from Chancellor Palpatine into, the Emperor. He makes the weirdest noises. But I thought that was the worst character. 3 is the best meme material. True. Yeah, 3 is definitely the best meme material. I would definitely say that 3 is underrated. Just because it's part of the prequels, people hate it. It has one of the biggest emotional climaxes of the films, I would say. So now, we have the Clone Wars movie. Spoiler alert, I think the Clone Wars show is amazing. I don't think the movie is as good. Honestly, I think the movie's boring, and I think the plot is really lame. If you've seen this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Let's talk about Count Dooku's plan in this. He has Zero the Hutt kidnap Jabba the Hutt's son in order to frame it on the Jedi. So Jabba the Hutt is like, oh no, bad Jedi. Of all the things Count Dooku can do, like, I just think that's so weird. I think episode 2 is slightly better. Just because the plot is more interesting. The general plot, like, next up, that should be the Clone Wars show, I think. Seasons, I think 1 through 6 of the Clone Wars. A tier. Easy. Easy A tier. Here's the thing, though. The final 4 episodes of the Clone Wars, that's why I wish these were separate. The final 4 episodes, S tier. The best Star Wars content that there has been. I think it has the most emotional impact of any of the shows or movies, and I think it's the best because it's not separated. Let's take it down to top of A. We have Star Wars Rebels. So imagine if the Clone Wars show was much more made for kids. I haven't watched much of it because it's really hard to watch. It's just 2 really awesome moments, and those moments just have nothing to do with any of the original characters they came up with in Rebels. It's all about Ahsoka, Vader, and then Obi-Wan and Darth Maul. Honestly, I'm going to put it D tier. I just don't like it. Maybe I need to give it another shot sometime. I'm not a fan. Force Awakens. I can't in good conscience put this above A New Hope, because it basically is a new Hope. It uses so many of the same tropes, and I know it's meant to be, like, to invoke nostalgia, but it really doesn't seem that way. It just seems like they're copying a lot of the plot points. But I think that they introduced some of the more interesting characters into the Star Wars universe, not Rey. I think Rey is the least interesting character in Star Wars. Kylo Ren is sick, and I think Finn is really cool, and I think Finn was way underutilized. I think Finn should have been the Jedi. Like, Finn absolutely should have been the Jedi. They really did him dirty with the role that he had. Yeah, I have to put that at B tier. I think it's Rogue One after that. So Rogue One... Easy. It's really good. It's really good. Way underrated. I think that people hated on it because there weren't as many lightsabers. But I think that Rogue One is really good. And you feel the importance of the mission as they are going through. Like, it feels like everything rides on what they do. Last Jedi... Oh, this movie was so confusing, and they didn't have to make it so confusing. That said, visually, I think this is the best movie. Canto Bight. They should have taken out Canto Bight. That had no reason to be there. And the whole, like, Finn and Rose subplot literally didn't affect anything in the movie at all. In fact, if it did anything, it made it worse for the Resistance. That said, I think the plot is more interesting than Episode 1. Because I think the Rey and Kylo Skype calls, although it's a little cheesy, I think it's really interesting. And it brings some new, new powers or, like, methods of using the Force that I think is really cool. Solo, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen this all the way through. So I can't really rate this. I need to watch it. I have no excuse. I should have watched it before I did this. I think it's this. And what is this? What is Star Wars Resistance? I have never heard anyone talk about that a single time. So, Mandalorian, I guess technically that started before. Again, I wish the seasons were split, because Season 1, easy A tier. I'd put it just below Clone Wars. Season 2, S tier. I'm gonna do some switching around here. Yep. Yep, that feels better. That feels better. That feels a lot better to me. These 2 shows are the best Star Wars content that we've seen. Last up, we have Rise of Skywalker. Why? J.J. Abrams, I don't understand why. I still think that Rian Johnson had more of a vision of what the story would be than J.J. Abrams did. I think J.J. Abrams made Force Awakens, and it was like, okay, this is going to be a blank canvas. It's basically A New Hope. I've made a few characters, and that's it. And he didn't think about the other movies. Rian Johnson, I feel he had a vision for the way Episode 9 would have gone. And then J.J. Abrams was like, ha, no fam, I'm just gonna bring back the villain that's in every other Star Wars movie. Why? It wasn't cool at all. It was just like, okay, well now Kylo Ren doesn't matter. And the Emperor was behind the scenes during Episodes 7 and 8. But are you gonna tell me, like, you look at Palpatine, you look at a picture of Emperor Palpatine. You know what, let me pull up a picture of him right now. Are you telling me that this guy had a kid? Do you really think that this guy right here, look at his absence of teeth. There's no possible way that a woman saw this guy and was like, oh man. The first time I saw Rise of Skywalker, I was like, man, that was really good. And then as soon as I actually thought about how the new trilogy correlates with the prequels and original trilogy, it doesn't make any sense. They're trying to keep on the legacy of Anakin Skywalker without having Anakin Skywalker even be living. And then they killed off the other Skywalkers, and then Rey's like, oh, I'm a Skywalker. No, you aren't. Oh, has my camera been over this the whole time? Oh no. I just realized my camera has been, like, covering up a lot of this. Okay, I'm taking this off. Whoops. I guess I should have thought about that. Okay, this isn't my tier list. This is the definitive Star Wars tier list. I'm the #1 expert on this. And, yeah. So, what I say goes. Believe it or not, they are missing the Lego Star Wars Christmas special. It is better than all the new trilogy movies. They had a better story with Lego versions of the new trilogy characters than the new trilogy did. They did a better job with it. And that would be probably bottom of A. The definitive Star Wars tier list. This is without a doubt fact. And if you disagree, then, well, you're wrong. Well, I'm gonna go back to drinking some hot chocolate out of my mug. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, go and leave a like, and go and subscribe down below so you don't miss my next video, because I upload whenever I have the time. So, yeah, and just to keep you guys up to date, I have a gaming channel. I'll link that below in the description if you want to subscribe to that, great. And I also have a Twitch channel that I've been streaming on, so if you want to see me live, then go and follow that too. Alright, thanks, have a good one.